Imagine stumbling upon a sacred Tibetan temple, where a mysterious image stops you in your tracks. Two deities locked in a radiant embrace, their serenity both beautiful and baffling. This is Yab-Yum, a cornerstone of Tibetan Tantra. But is it what it seems? Many think it's about desire, even scandal. Yet the truth is far deeper. A secret that could shift how you see the world. Curious? You're not alone. Misunderstandings cloud this profound practice. But today, we'll lift the veil, revealing Yab-Yum's true meaning. A path to wisdom and compassion that's anything but ordinary. Whether you're new to Buddhism or seeking deeper truths, stick with me to uncover a practice that's as transformative as it is misunderstood. Share your thoughts below. What does this sacred embrace mean to you? Let's dive in. Veils of Mist. Unraveling the shadows of Yab-Yum. The mist clings to the jagged peaks of the Himalayas, where the air hums with a quiet that feels alive, as if the mountains themselves are whispering secrets. In this sacred cradle of Tibetan Buddhism, where prayer flags flutter like the breath of enlightened beings, the practice of Yab-Yum emerges, not as a mere ritual, but as a profound dance of the cosmos. You might feel a spark of curiosity, perhaps even a flush of intrigue at the mention of Yab-Yum. What is this mysterious practice, often shrouded in whispers and misunderstandings? Lean closer, for the truth is far more radiant than the rumors, and the journey to uncover it will pull you deeper into a world where the ordinary dissolves into the divine. Yab-Yum, the sacred union of male and female deities in Tibetan Tantric Buddhism, is a symbol that stirs the imagination. Picture a deity, radiant and serene, seated in meditative embrace with his consort, their forms intertwined in perfect harmony. This image, often depicted in vibrant thankas or carved into ancient temple walls, is not merely art. It is a portal to understanding the nature of reality. But here's where the mind stumbles, where curiosity might give way to confusion. Many, upon encountering Yab-Yum, assume it is a practice rooted in physical desire, a ritual cloaked in sensuality. The very thought might quicken your pulse, drawing you to wonder, is this Buddhism's hidden indulgence? Stay with me, for this assumption is the first veil we must lift, and the truth beneath is far more exhilarating. The misconception that Yab-Yum is about earthly passion is as old as the trade routes that carried Buddhist teachings across Asia. To the untrained eye, the image of two figures locked in embrace suggests a celebration of physical union. But pause for a moment. Let your breath slow, as if you're sitting before a lama in a candlelit gompa. In the Tantric tradition, Yab-Yum is not about the body's fleeting desires, but about the union of wisdom and compassion, the very forces that weave the fabric of enlightenment. The male deity, the Yab, embodies compassion, the active force that reaches out to alleviate suffering. The female deity, the Yum, represents wisdom, the profound insight into the emptiness of all phenomena. Their embrace is not a surrender to lust, but a visual symphony of balance, where dualities dissolve into oneness. Does this shift your perspective? Can you feel the pull to know more, to see beyond the surface? Yet the misunderstanding persists, fueled by a world that often mistakes the sacred for the profane. Imagine a traveler, weary from the dusty roads of Lhasa, stumbling upon a temple fresco of Yab-Yum. Their eyes widen, their mind races, projecting modern notions of intimacy onto a practice that transcends such categories. This is no fault of their own. It's human nature to see the familiar in the unknown. But here's where the journey deepens, where the spark of curiosity ignites into a flame. Yab-Yum is not a practice for the uninitiated to grasp at first glance. It is a path reserved for those who have walked the long road of discipline, meditation, and ethical purity. The Tantric adept does not approach Yab-Yum with desire, but with a heart purified by devotion and a mind sharpened by insight. The embrace of Yab-Yum is a meditative visualization, a sacred alchemy that transforms the practitioner's perception of reality. Are you beginning to sense the layers unfolding? The truth is not a destination but a path, and each step draws you closer. Let's linger here in the space between misunderstanding and revelation. The assumption that Yab-Yum is a license for indulgence often stems from a broader misreading of Tantra itself. In the West, Tantra has been dressed up in exotic allure, reduced to a synonym for sensual excess. This is a shadow cast by cultural distance, a distortion that obscures the luminous heart of the tradition. Tantra, in its essence, is about transformation, using the raw energies of existence, including desire, as fuel for awakening. But here's the twist that keeps you tethered to this exploration. Yab-Yum does not indulge desire, it transcends it. The practitioner, through rigorous training under a qualified guru, learns to channel the energy of duality into the realization of non-duality. The embrace of Yab-Yum is a mirror, reflecting the unity of all things, form and emptiness, self and other, samsara and nirvana. Can you feel the pull of this idea, the way it tugs at your mind, urging you to unravel more? Consider the lotus, a symbol revered in Buddhism for its purity, rising unstained from the mud. Yab-Yum is like that lotus, rooted in the human experience, yet blossoming into the divine. The practice is not about rejecting the body, but about recognizing its sacredness as a vessel for enlightenment. The physical form, with all its passions and imperfections, becomes a tool for liberation when guided by wisdom. This is where the dopamine kicks in, not from fleeting pleasure, but from the thrill of discovery, the joy of seeing the world anew. The practitioner visualizes Yab-Yum not to gratify the ego, but to dissolve it, to merge with the infinite dance of existence. Each meditation, each mantra, each breath draws them closer to the truth that all dualities are illusions. Isn't there something exhilarating in that? The idea that what seems so solid, our desires, our separations, can melt into something boundless. But let's not rush past the shadows, for they too have lessons to teach. Another common misconception is that Yab-Yum is a practice accessible to all, a shortcut to spiritual ecstasy. This notion is as seductive as it is dangerous. Picture a novice, eager for enlightenment, seeking to leap into advanced tantric practices without preparation. Their enthusiasm is admirable, but the path of Yab-Yum is not a casual stroll. It is a climb up a precipitous cliff where every step demands focus and reverence. In the Tibetan tradition, such practices are guarded by strict ethical guidelines and the guidance of a guru. Without this foundation, the practitioner risks not only misunderstanding, but misuse, turning a sacred practice into a justification for personal gain. The stories are rare but real. Those who, lacking proper guidance, have twisted Yab-Yum into something it was never meant to be. Yet these missteps only highlight the importance of the authentic path, the one that demands patience, humility, and surrender. Are you still with me, feeling the weight of this responsibility, the call to honor the sacred? As we peel back these layers, the heart of Yab-Yum begins to shine through, like sunlight breaking through a Himalayan dawn. The practice is not about duality, but about unity. Not about indulgence, but about transcendence. It invites the practitioner to see the world as a mandala, where every form, every emotion, every thought is part of a sacred whole. The embrace of Yab-Yum is a reminder that compassion and wisdom are not separate. They are two wings of the same bird, soaring toward liberation. And here's the moment where you might feel a surge of wonder. This practice, so often misunderstood, is a key to unlocking the deepest truths of existence. It's not about what the eyes see in a thangka or statue. It's about what the heart realizes in meditation. So, as the mist swirls around those Himalayan peaks, as the prayer flags continue their silent song, let this be your invitation to linger. The misconceptions about Yab-Yum are like clouds obscuring the sun. Temporary, insubstantial, and easily dispelled by the light of understanding. The practice is not a scandalous secret, but a sacred art, a bridge between the human and the divine. And yet, we've only begun to explore its depths. The path stretches onward, inviting you to follow, to discover how Yab-Yum weaves together the threads of compassion, wisdom, and ultimate reality. Can you resist the call to keep going, to see where this journey leads? Embrace of light, the heart of Yab-Yum's practice. The wind carries the faint chime of temple bells, a sound that seems to pulse with the heartbeat of the universe. You're still here, drawn deeper into the mystery of Yab-Yum, that sacred embrace that promises not just knowledge, but transformation. The misconceptions we've unraveled, the notions of desire, the shadows of misuse, fade like morning fog, revealing a path that glimmers with possibility. But what lies ahead? Why does this practice, so ancient and revered, hold such power to stir the soul? Let's step closer, as if crossing the threshold of a hidden shrine, where the air is thick with incense and the promise of awakening. Imagine sitting cross-legged on a cushion, the glow of butter lamps casting dancing shadows on the walls. A lama, eyes alight with wisdom, speaks of Yab-Yum not as an image, but as a living truth. The embrace of the male and female deities is not a static symbol, but a dynamic process, a meditation that unfolds within the practitioner's mind. This is where the pulse quickens, where the mind leans forward, eager for the next revelation. Yab-Yum is not something you observe, it's something you become. Through visualization, the adept merges with the deity and consort, embodying their qualities of compassion and wisdom. The male deity's energy flows like a river, active and boundless. The female deity's insight cuts like a diamond, piercing through illusion. Together, they form a union that dissolves the self into the infinite. Can you feel the thrill of this idea, the way it beckons you to imagine yourself as part of something vast? Yet, even as this vision unfolds, another misunderstanding lurks, ready to tangle the unwary mind. Some believe Yab-Yum is a literal act, a physical ritual performed by practitioners to achieve enlightenment. The thought might spark a flicker of intrigue, perhaps even unease. But pause. Breathe in the cool mountain air and let the truth settle. In the authentic Tibetan tradition, Yab-Yum is primarily a meditative practice, a sacred visualization undertaken by those who have mastered the preliminaries: ethical conduct, devotion, and mental clarity. The physical imagery of union is a metaphor, a vivid tool to guide the mind toward non-duality. The practitioner does not act out the embrace, but internalizes it, transforming their perception of reality. This is the alchemy of Tantra, not a rejection of the body, but a celebration of its potential to reflect the divine. Doesn't this shift spark a surge of wonder, a desire to peel back more layers? Let's linger in this sacred space where the boundaries between self and other begin to blur. The practice of Yab-Yum requires preparation, a journey that tests the heart's sincerity. Picture a monk, years deep in study, chanting mantras under the watchful gaze of his guru. Before he can approach Yab-Yum, he must purify his mind, rooting out attachment and aversion. This is no small feat. It's a fire that burns away the ego's illusions. The dopamine rush comes not from instant gratification, but from the slow, steady climb toward clarity. Each step, each meditation, each prostration builds a foundation strong enough to hold the profound truths of Yab-Yum. The practitioner learns to see the world as a mandala, where every thought, every sensation is an offering to the divine. Are you starting to feel the pull of this discipline, the way it calls you to rise above the ordinary? But here's where the path twists, where the mind might hesitate. Another misconception whispers that Yab-Yum is a solitary endeavor, a practice one can undertake alone without guidance. This is a tempting lure, especially in a world that prizes independence. Yet, in the Tibetan tradition, the guru is the compass, the one who ensures the practitioner does not stray into delusion. Without a qualified teacher, the visualizations of Yab-Yum can become mere fantasy, a playground for the ego rather than a path to liberation. The guru's role is not to control, but to illuminate, guiding the practitioner through the intricate dance of tantric meditation. This relationship, built on trust and reverence, is the heartbeat of the practice. Can you sense the weight of this bond, the way it anchors the journey in authenticity? As we move deeper, the radiance of Yab-Yum grows brighter, like a star emerging from the twilight. The practice is not about achieving a goal, but about realizing what already is, the unity beneath the illusion of separation. The embrace of Yab-Yum reflects the interplay of all opposites, light and dark, form and emptiness, compassion and wisdom. In meditation, the practitioner becomes this union, their mind a mirror reflecting the cosmos. The thrill lies in this dissolution, this moment when the self melts into the infinite. It's not a loss, but a homecoming, a return to the truth that we are all threads in the same tapestry. Doesn't this idea ignite something within you, a longing to explore the edges of your own consciousness? The temple bells chime again, their sound weaving through the silence. We've journeyed far, yet the path stretches onward, inviting us to uncover more. The misconceptions, literalism, solitude fall away, revealing Yab-Yum as a practice of profound unity, guided by discipline and devotion. But there's more to discover, more veils to lift. What happens when the practitioner fully embodies this union? How does Yab-Yum ripple outward, transforming not just the self, but the world? The answers lie ahead, pulling you forward like a river current, urging you to stay, to see this journey through to its luminous end. Ripples of oneness, Yab-Yum's eternal dance. The stars above the Himalayas burn with a clarity that feels like a call to awaken, their light piercing the velvet night. You've journeyed with me through the mist of misconceptions, past the veils of desire and solitude, to stand now at the heart of Yab-Yum, where the sacred embrace of wisdom and compassion reveals its deepest truths. The air feels charged, doesn't it? As if each breath draws you closer to a revelation that hums just beyond reach. Let's step into this final chamber of understanding, where the practice of Yab-Yum unfolds not just as a meditation but as a mirror of the universe itself, pulling you irresistibly toward its radiant core. Picture a practitioner, their mind honed by years of discipline, seated in a quiet cave carved into a mountainside. The world outside fades, and within, the visualization of Yab-Yum comes alive. The deity and consort, locked in their eternal embrace, are no longer separate from the practitioner. They are the practitioner. This is the moment where the heart races, where the boundary between self and divine dissolves. The male deity's compassion flows through them, a torrent of love that seeks to liberate all beings. The female deity's wisdom cuts through their illusions, revealing the emptiness that underlies all forms. In this union, the practitioner experiences a truth so profound, it feels like a spark igniting the soul. There is no separation, only oneness. Can you feel the exhilaration of this realization, the way it beckons you to lean closer, to grasp its meaning? Yet, even here, at the pinnacle of practice, another misunderstanding can cloud the mind. Some might think Yab-Yum is a private affair, a practice that benefits only the individual. This notion, so tempting in its simplicity, misses the vastness of Tantra's vision. Stay with me, for this is where the journey expands, where the dopamine surge of discovery propels you forward. Yab-Yum is not a solitary triumph, but a gift to the world. The practitioner, by embodying the union of wisdom and compassion, becomes a conduit for awakening, their every thought and action infused with the intent to benefit others. The embrace of Yab-Yum ripples outward, like a stone dropped in a still lake, touching all beings with the potential for liberation. This is the thrill of Tantra, not just personal enlightenment, but the transformation of the entire web of existence. Doesn't this idea stir something deep within you, a longing to be part of something greater? As the practitioner deepens their practice, they begin to see Yab-Yum everywhere, not just in meditation, but in the world around them. The mountains and rivers, the laughter of a child, the fleeting glance of a stranger, all become reflections of the sacred union. This is where the narrative turns, where the heart catches its breath. The practice of Yab-Yum teaches that the divine is not distant but immanent, woven into the fabric of every moment. The lover and beloved, the giver and receiver, the self and other, all are expressions of the same unity. This realization is not a quiet epiphany, but a vibrant, living truth that pulses through every interaction. The practitioner moves through the world with a heart ablaze, their actions guided by the harmony they've internalized. Can you imagine the joy of seeing the world this way, as a dance of interconnectedness? But let's pause, for there's one final misconception to dispel, one that might linger like a shadow on the path. Some believe Yab-Yum, with its vivid imagery and profound depth, is the ultimate goal of tantric practice, a peak beyond which nothing remains. This is a subtle trap, one that even seasoned practitioners must navigate. The truth, as always, is more dynamic, more alive. Yab-Yum is not an end, but a gateway, a practice that opens the door to ever-deepening layers of realization. The embrace of wisdom and compassion is a foundation, not a finish line. Beyond it lies the vast expanse of Mahamudra, Dzogchen, and other advanced teachings, where the practitioner moves even closer to the ultimate nature of mind. The journey never truly ends, and that's the secret that keeps you hooked, the promise of infinite discovery. Isn't there something electrifying in that? The idea that enlightenment is not a destination, but an eternal unfolding. As the stars fade into the dawn, the truth of Yab-Yum shines brighter than ever. This practice, so often misunderstood as indulgence or isolation, is a celebration of unity, a path to dissolve the illusions that bind us. It is a call to embody compassion and wisdom, to see the sacred in every moment, and to offer that vision to the world. The practitioner, through Yab-Yum, becomes a beacon, their life a testament to the possibility of awakening. And you, standing at the edge of this journey, can feel the pull of its promise. The misconceptions, desire, literalism, solitude, finality, have fallen away, leaving only the luminous truth. Yab-Yum is a mirror, reflecting the divine potential within us all. The temple bells ring once more, their sound fading into the vast silence of the mountains. You've traveled far, from curiosity to clarity, from shadow to light. The practice of Yab-Yum is not just a ritual, but a way of being, a reminder that the sacred is never far away. It's in the embrace of a loved one, the kindness of a stranger, the quiet of your own breath. As you step back into the world, carry this truth with you. Let it spark in your heart, urging you to see the unity beneath all things. The journey may pause here, but its echoes will linger, calling you to live with wisdom, with compassion, with the radiant oneness of Yab-Yum.